Hello everyone, welcome back to Methodology of Literature. Psychoanalytic criticism continued. In the last class, we discussed about Sigmund Freud's analogy of iceberg, where the part above water as conscious mind and the part underwater as unconscious mind. Now we are moving to Freud's model of the psyche. Freudian model of the psyche. Psyche means personality, human personality. Freud used the following key terms for explaining the model of human psyche, that is, human personality. According to Freud, these three parts combine to create the complex behavior of human beings. So, these are the three components of human personality: one, id; two, ego; three, superego. Now let us see each of these in detail. Id. Id is the most basic part of the personality. This part of the mind is the storehouse of our desires, wishes, and fears. It also represents our most animalistic urges like the desire for food, desire for sex, etc. The id seeks instant gratification for our wants and needs. If these needs or wants are not met, the person can become tense, anxious, or angry. Id will try to get whatever it needs by any means without thinking about the consequence. Hope you understood. Id is that part of our mind which is full of desires, wishes, etc. If id wants something, it needs it immediately without thinking about the consequences. How id works? See, here is an example of a situation in which id works. Just imagine that you saw your favorite cake when you were in a bakery and you don't have any money with you to buy and eat it. Then, without thinking much about the consequences, you take the cake out of the shelf and eats it. This type of action is driven by the id of your mind. Now coming to superego. Superego is also called conscience. In Malayalam we say manasachi. It comprises the morals that you learn from your parents, teachers, your value system, your religious belief, etc. Superego is always worried about the consequences of what you do. This is how superego works in the above situation. See, when you see the favorite cake in the bakery, your id will drive you to steal it and eat it. However, then your superego will remind you that stealing is wrong. Your society, your value system, your religious belief had taught you that stealing is sin. So you will control your desire to steal the cake from the shelf. Now, ego. Ego acts as a mediator between id and superego. Ego deals with the reality, trying to meet the desires of the id in such a way that is socially acceptable in the world. Ego tries to fulfill your desire without creating any problem. So, what ego is trying to do is mediate between the uh, desire of the id and superego, so that there will not be any problem at all. Ego works like this, the same situation as above. When you see the cake, you desire for it, you feel like stealing it. Then superego reminds you that it is wrong. Then how will you achieve it? You will try to find other alternatives. You ask the seller to pack this cake and promise to bring the money soon. See, If you are a if you are a respectable person, he will give you the cake. Or you remember a friend who lives nearby and ask him to give some money. Now you can eat the cake without creating any problem. Ego is that part of the mind which interferes to achieve your desire without creating any problem. So hope you understood how these three elements work. Now coming to dream mechanism. In his famous book, the book is called Interpretations of Dreams. Interpretation of Dreams. Freud tells about dream mechanism. This is very important while trying to understand unconscious. We all have dreams, right? Freud identifies dreams as a means of a method of fulfilling desires that cannot be fulfilled in real life because you repressed it in your mind. Why you repressed it? You repressed it because it is painful even to your mind to admit, accept that you have such a forbidden desire. Then dreams will enable you to release the tension in another way. This is another imaginary situation. Imagine a character called Ajayan. Ajayan unconsciously feels a strong sexual desire for his brother's wife. Ajayan loves his brother very much. It will be painful to admit, even to him, that he has that forbidden desire. Then he may dream that he fulfilled the desire by having a lover who is socially acceptable. See, this Ajayan is a character from the film Anandaram by Adur Gopalakrishnan. There are two dream mechanisms. One, condensation. Two, displacement. Let us see each one in detail. Condensation is the representation of a number of people, meanings, or things into a single thing. It corresponds to the figure of speech metaphor where one image is condensed to another. See, condensation, it is equivalent of metaphor. You know that metaphor is a way of saying something like this. Uh, you you are the rose, you are a lion, like that. So two images are fused together. Similarly, condensation is a method of bringing together a number of things, meanings, etc. into a single thing. Snake in a dream is often regarded as a symbol of sex. Sticks, trees, towers, pencils, knives, aeroplanes, etc. are regarded as symbolic representation of male sexual organ, thus connected to male sexuality. Caves, bottles, ponds, doors, jewel cases, etc. are often regarded as symbols of female sexual organ. See, this is how condensation works. Now, displacement. Displacement is a situation where one person or event is represented by another person or event which is associated with it. This corresponds to the mechanism of metonymy in language where one thing is replaced by something corresponding to it. For instance, crown stands for king. Suppose you are in a forbidden love with an Italian woman. You are dreaming continuously about buying an Italian car. Then it is the dream mechanism of displacement. So we are stopping here for a while and will continue. Thank you.